This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Hey guys, Jay here. Welcome to Models Memories Weekly, episode 179. Models Memories is a show about nothing and is filmed in front of a live studio audience. This is a show where I talk about my painting, modeling, and wearing experiences from the week. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Jay, you put out 3 videos a week. How could I possibly have more to say? Well, I do, and here goes. This week, Games Workshop came out with a new combat patrol for the Blood Angels, and it might be the worst one yet, but we got new kill team and some news about a Warhammer TV show that's coming soon. But first, have you ever needed a Squarespace online to call your own? Well, today's sponsor, Squarespace, can help with that. Squarespace allows anyone to break into website design with easy-to-use features like the new guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint. Choose from a professionally curated selection of styling options to build a unique online presence from the ground up. Squarespace makes it easy to launch your website and get discovered faster with integrated optimized SEO tools, so you can show up more often to more people and grow the way you want. Or your own online storefront. Whether your services are physical, digital, or service-based, selling your wares has never been easier with Squarespace's seamless checkout tools. With the Squarespace website, your customers can use whatever payment system they prefer, whether it's credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, Afterpay, or ClearPay. Selling your unique wares has never been easier. Squarespace offers a free trial for you to dip your feet into and test the waters, and ready to dive in headfirst, you can go to squarespace.com/EonsOfBattle or follow the link in the description below to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Let's get the bad out of the way first. New combat patrol for the Blood Angels, and it's probably the worst one. Like, the Blood Angels, but the Dark Angels used to have the best combat patrol. Their combat patrol was epic, but it got replaced when the Codex came out. So then the runner-up was the Blood Angels, the best combat patrol. You got a repulsor, you got an impulsor, impulsor. You got the Primaris Rhino, a squad of aggressors, and you got 5 regular intercessors. Really good. Oh, and you think you also got the Librarian. Like, it was a nice box for almost anyone starting Space Marines. It gave you some really, really nice units. So they threw that one away and replaced it with one full 10-man squad of assault intercessors. You got a captain in Blood Angels armor, which is pretty cool. And you get 2 squads of Sanguinary Guard, the new 3-man squads that are coming out. It's a lot of guys, which I'm usually pretty good with guys, but it's with combat patrols, I feel like combat patrols are like the Christmas box. Like, you want something with a little bit of everything. You want maybe a medium-sized vehicle. You want an elite unit. I guess the Sanguinary Guard are a very elite unit, but they don't feel like it, especially because they're just wearing sort of regular Mark 10 Tacticus armor. And the 10 Assault Intercessors. I like Assault Intercessors, but I'm a Black Templar player. I guess they're better in Blood Angels because they get better on the charge, so there might be something to this little 85-point unit for 5, or maybe 2 of those. Like, this, I'm complaining about Space Marines in a box for a slightly better price than you would get for buying them all separately, but I feel like there's just no juice. There's no juice in this box. There's nothing big and exciting. It doesn't come with Dante or something really, really cool. It's just like a booster pack of Space Marines. And also, most people already have like regular intercessors or assault intercessors. Those are a pretty standard issue Space Marine unit, so it's always a little bland and boring when they come in one of these boxes. No vehicle at all. Not even a Primaris Rhino is kind of meh. No aggressors. The captain's cool. Everyone needs a captain, but I don't know, this box is not doing much. And it makes me think of like Combat Patrol as a format. Like, is this box the way it is because Combat Patrol is the way it is? Because Games Workshop thinks that Combat Patrol is its own game system, where you can buy any Combat Patrol and play them against each other and have a fun, good game, which is not really true. I played a bunch of Combat Patrol. I played in a Combat Patrol tournament. The Combat Patrols are not balanced. It doesn't really work in a small format, and the super small board size kind of doesn't work because basically all guns have infinite range, all things can turn one charge. It doesn't really work. Like, Combat Patrol as a game system is bad. And I say that because I have been really enjoying Spearhead. For Age of Sigmar, I've been playing so much Spearhead, and it's so good. It almost doesn't matter like what Spearhead you take, especially since there's not much shooting in Age of Sigmar, so you don't have to worry about getting shot off the board. I mean, Spearhead has almost no terrain, but it doesn't matter at all. The games still work really, really well, where I feel like Combat Patrol you need to have perfect terrain and a lot of it just to make sure that the shootier boxes don't just immediately shoot away the other box. Because 40K, there is some huge swinginess in the data sheets. I don't know. Well, I'm trying to think of a single combat patrol that could handle one Rogaldorn battle tank. I don't think there is any. And the Rogaldorn is only like 220 points or 240 points. It's pretty cheap for what it is. And it could mop the floor with this combat patrol. It might be able to, could it kill this combat patrol in one shooting phase? I think the Sanguinary Guard have an invulnerable save, but if it's skewed, if the owner of the Rogaldorn just got a little bit lucky, I think the Rogal could wipe this entire combat patrol off the board in one shooting phase. It's fine. I don't know. It's nothing special. It is a downgrade from I think what we had before, and I know I did ask for Sanguinary Guard to come in the combat patrol, but I also wanted Dante in there too. Like if this combat patrol was just the Blood Angels Sanguinary pack that just immediately gave you a Sanguinary Guard wing of your army, I think that would be pretty dope. Just maybe get rid of 5 of the Assault Intercessors and replace that with Dante. It would have been a little bit more cool, but as is, it's just a bunch of regular Space Marines. Some of them have jetpacks, but not much more than jetpacks. I guess they have Dick Tabards too, which is cool compared to the regular Assault Intercessors with jump packs, but I don't know. It's not doing much for me. But you know what is doing much for me? New Kill Team. Games Workshop has shown off the next box for Kill Team, and it is not just the next box for Kill Team, it is Kill Team 3. Technically Kill Team 4, but we don't consider it that way. Kill Team 2018 was Kill Team 1, and then we had Kill Team 2020, and then we have Kill Team 3, Hivestorm. This box looks pretty cool. It's got the Vespid Stingwing returning to the world of Warhammer 40,000 after, they were never really hiatused. I feel like 10 years ago, people just stopped buying the old Finecast models because they were so crunchy and misshapen and hard to build and hard to paint and not really good in the game. But Vespid are back. They look super cool. I love the Tau auxiliaries. Kroot got a lot of love this year, and now the Vespid are getting some love this year. I don't know if I'm super crazy on the super orange color scheme, but I think that could be easily fixed with painting. And I do love the look of these aliens with Tau guns. Oh, they look so neat. They actually, I don't know who designed these units that come in the Kill Team box, but Games Workshop has, I feel like, been doing a worse and worse job with the tactical rocks. I feel like all these guys look great on their tactical rocks. Like they look, like some of them look like they're just kind of scuttling over the ground. Some of them look like they're just maybe getting a little bit of a boost from their wings. They're not either taking off or landing. They look really correct, which is really, really nice. Oh, these guys are so neat. They look a little spindly, but it looks like there's a lot of points of contact. Like most of them have 2 hands on their gun. It looks like a lot of them have their gun also touching like a third part of their body. So I'm not super worried about these models being too fragile. And man, they look really well designed. Like it looks like a lot of them, their wings actually conform to the parameters of their bases pretty well. One thing that always annoys me with miniatures is when the model sticks out way past the base, because then when you try to move them in the actual game, they monkey in a barrel and you're knocking them over or dragging them across the table when you're trying to move other models. I think Vespid Stingwing is a perfect choice for Kill Team, but another perfect choice. Me and a buddy of mine, Sean, were arguing all week leading up to this about what is going to get revealed is it going to be Tempestus Scions, or is it going to be the Elysian Drop Troops, which used to be a Forge World exclusive thing before it was dropped. And I was really hoping for Tempestus Scions because I really like the Tempestus Scions. Sean was a Elysian Drop Trooper guy, but I was right. It was the Tempestus Scions, and they're so cool. I love the Scions. It broke my heart. We just got the full reveals for the Agents of the Imperium Codex, and they didn't make it into that book. I don't even understand why. Technically, the Scions are a little bit better than the Inquisitorial Stormtroopers, which was what Inquisitorial Stormtroopers were sort of the they were before the Tempestus Scions or the Kazarkin. They were like in the weird, those 2 different types of units split off from the original Stormtroopers, but the Scions are still that. Like in the lore, whenever there's orphans in the Imperium, which there's a lot of orphans in the Imperium, the Ordo Orphanius, when orphans go to the like temple, the girls go into the Sororitas, the boys go into the Tempestus Scions, and then if you're like super awesome, you get turned into an assassin. But the Scions don't get to be in the Inquisitorial Agents. I would love to do like a Tempestus army with just tons of Inquisitors and Assassins. I feel like that would have worked so well. And what's interesting is the Tempestus Scions already have the Deep Strike rule. And so these guys have jetpacks. So presumably they're gonna also have Deep Strike, but they'll probably also have like Movement 10 or Movement 12, which would have been super helpful in Codex Agents of the Imperium. It doesn't even make sense. Like, do you have a brand new thing that is very much adjacent to Agents of the Imperium coming out? Why not hold off just a little bit and have these guys show up in that codex? It doesn't make any sense, but I still love it. I love the Tempestus Scions. I would love to do a full army. I even like the Tarox Prime. That thing does not have a lot of fans, but I am one of it. I like the Jeep with 4 tank treads instead of tires. I like that thing, and I like these guys a lot. I love their jetpacks. I love their spooky helmets, although I'm probably gonna replace those helmets with Skitarii Vanguard helmets. I like the spooky eye helmets, and I might leave them on my sergeants, but I like the Skitarii Vanguard helmets with they give it a little bit more of that gothic flair. I also don't get, it seems like the Tempestus Scions are not at all popular. I don't get why. They're so 40K. Like they're like super modern elite soldiers, but with a gothic flair to their armor. That's what 40K is. I don't get, everyone's like, Khazarkin are much cooler. Khazarkin are Green Army men. These guys are some 40K stormtroopers. These guys are so cool. I think the only little flaw I have with these guys, and it remains to be seen what the sprue looks like. I like the hoses going to the las guns. I think that just looks so slick, where a lot of these guys have like drum mags, and the drum mags are fine, although the boxy drum mags look a lot like DeWalt batteries. Like it's kind of, that's exactly what they are. And that's literally what they are, because these are las guns, and so they just feed off of energy. And so literally they take the DeWalt battery out of like the charging port and then slap it into their guns the same way that I slap it into like my drills. It is kind of funny, but hopefully the sprue comes with a lot of hoses, which the original Tempestus Scion box did as well. It came with a lot of options of exactly how you want your guys. So I am super looking forward to this. I have so many armies and I have so many projects, but it would be really cool. I've got this idea in my head of doing like an inquisitorial force, but trying my best not to do Agents of the Imperium Codex, because holy cow, does that look like a horrible codex. But just doing a really, really custom, interesting army. I would love to do that. And these guys would be lovely to have in that force. Oh, they're so cool. I love the jetpacks. And these guys also look fantastic on their tactical rocks. They look correct. They look great. Ah, incredible. But this isn't just a new Kill Team box. It is Kill Team 3. No real word on what that means yet. It does look like they're gonna revamp the rules. I would assume they're not gonna revamp them as hard as from when we went to Kill Team 1 to Kill Team 2. I really like Kill Team 2. I think it works really, really well. It did become a little bit of an arms race of the new team that they just came out with is better than the previous teams. Although, then when we got into the Dark, it kind of flipped. The new team was always awful on launch, and then you had to wait like a couple of weeks or to a month for them to like patch the army so that they actually became good in game. But then everything evened out pretty good. And currently there's no real word on exactly how those old teams are gonna work in the new one. I think they're gonna remain, but it looks like that anything that came in a box is getting cards, which better be free. But the article said cards, and that sounds like money, and Games Workshop likes to charge money for cards. And they also like to not let you buy cards. I'm still trying to buy a copy of the Pariah Nexus mission cards. I call the Warhammer store like every other day. I'm like, do you have the cards for me to buy? And every single time he's like, nah, not yet, and no word on when they're coming. So cards make me nervous, but if they're free, I'm happy. And then everything else from like the Kill Team Annual 2021 and probably all of like the White Dwarf teams and stuff are gonna get online digital rules, which also better be free. Games Workshop, just I'll buy the models. I will buy the models. Just let me have don't make me buy the rules in awkward books that you only have available for a very limited amount of time. You can't even buy the Kill Team Annual 2023 anymore. I don't get how Games Workshop thinks the rules are working. This isn't Necromunda. We're not willing to track down every weird rule in 100 different books. Just let me play with the models. I don't get it. But speaking of playing with the models, looking at the terrain that comes in this box, this is actually enough terrain to play Kill Team with, which none of the boxes, maybe Chalnath. The original Octeris box was also decent on terrain. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. This is honestly enough terrain to play Kill Team. It looks great. It looks like a ton of terrain, and I kind of hope Games Workshop keeps doing what they've been doing. Ooh, looks like they might not, because this is Kill Team Hivestorm, the box, and it looks like a big old box that probably does come with all of this terrain, so it's going to be expansive. But I have been liking what they've done, which is take the two teams, make them one box, and then take the terrain and make it its own box so that I don't have to buy the terrain. But it looks like it is all coming in one box, but at least it does look like you get this box, you got the terrain. You've got all of the terrain you'll ever need to play Kill Team with. Man, do the models look good on the terrain. The Vespid, the big old Vespids are just flying around. It does look really good. I really like Kill Team 2. I think just with a few little tweaks and it'll be a really like perfect game. And it already looks like Games Workshop is doing those tweaks. The famous measuring sticks that had circle, triangle, square, pentagon for measuring things. It's just numbers now. They correspond to the number of inches that it's actually trying to show you, which is perfect. It always annoyed me so much that it was like, this model has a movement of 3 circle. And then for some reason, competitive players would be like, it has a move of 3 white. And I don't even understand why they would signify it by the color, and then Games Workshop would signify it by the shape, but all of this actually means physical inches. So now it looks like it's just inches, which I appreciate. There's a ton of new barricades, which I think are great. I think the barricades actually work really nicely in the game of Kill Team, and so just taking that nice little element and expanding it to be like smoke grenades, barbed wire, ladders, grenades. I think that is a really, really nice way of doing it. I almost hope that they go to Mantic's Dead Zone version of the game, where in Mantic's Dead Zone, before the game starts, you sprinkle a bunch of mystery objects across the battlefield. And every time an operative gets to one of those little things, you flip it over and you get to see what it is. And sometimes it's a power sword, sometimes it's like extra grenades, sometimes it's just a landmine and you explode. Like that's a really, really fun little addition to that game. And so I would love to see something like that come to Kill Team. But Kill Team 3 does look neat. I think Kill Team in general is just a fantastic little game. And so I'm excited to see if Kill Team 3 can just tweak it and fudge it just a little bit more to make it something like a really, really good game. But speaking of really, really good games, have you ever wanted to watch a game? Probably not. I don't like battle reports, but you can watch 40K on Amazon Prime. Apparently, Games Workshop has paired up with the makers of Love, Death, and Robots, which is a great show. I love anthology series. And Love, Death, and Robots is one of the best. Really, really fun show. Some lovely, lovely animation and storytelling. And that company is apparently making a show about Captain Titus from Space Marine fame. I don't really care about Captain Titus. It seems like Captain Titus is Buzz Lightyear. Actually, Captain Titus is not as cool as Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear, he had an arc across, I don't even know how many Toy Story movies they've made at this point. But Captain Titus is just protagonist in video game. He's Doom Guy. Actually, Doom Guy has more lore behind him and he doesn't even talk. So it's interesting that Captain Titus is the character in the show, but I'm sure it'll be good. Like Pariah Nexus with the Salamanders guy was great on Amazon or on the Warhammer TV. So hopefully if it's just like some Space Marine action in a show, I think that's pretty cool. It's kind of cool that it's on Amazon Prime, although Amazon Prime, they sneakily changed if you have Amazon Prime for the free delivery, you used to get Amazon TV, but then they changed it so you now get Amazon TV with ads. Not a fan, but it is cool. it's something that a lot of people have, and so it's cool that more people will get to see some Warhammer stuff, because Warhammer is really, like, Warhammer shows are really, really good. Astartes had nothing to do with Games Workshop. It was just a guy. It was just one guy over the course of like 3 years who made one of the coolest short films of all time. But it is neat to see it coming to Amazon Prime. It's also interesting that this was completely under the radar. Everybody is talking about the Henry Cavill doing something with 40K live action, but this show has apparently just been in the works. They have some little clips of it in their like sizzle reel trailer for the production company. So it's just coming. It's coming late this year. So I'm interested in that. Also, don't show off stuff really, really early in advance. Like, it's coming. Like, I want to watch it right now, but I can't watch it right now. But you know what you can check out right now? That's right, our website. EonsOfBattle.com is the place to find our merch, like our new Nick and Jay dice, and the best way to support us doing what we do with a membership. Each month, members will get a credit that they can use on our new monthly terrain packs or any previous pack we have ever made. This month, our new terrain is the Clone Expansion, a part 2 to our spaceship interior with new wall sections for building out the grisly facilities of a cloning laboratory, complete with examination/autopsy tables, cloning bays, and new doors. And the cloning doesn't stop there. The cloning towers are macabre monoliths drooping with pods full of fresh recruits or test subjects, depending on the needs of the mad scientists who operate them. A lot of new interesting things coming to the world of Warhammer 40k. It definitely felt like 40k was kind of like sliding downhill a little bit with the releases. Blood Angels were kind of cool. They got 5 new thingies. And then technically the Vespid and the Tempesta Scions are for Kill Team, not for 40k, but they're gonna leak into 40k after like 3 or 4 months. So I'm looking forward to it. Am I gonna get the Kill Team box? No, I shouldn't, because I have so many projects on my plate right now. I got Infinity, Age of Sigmar 4.0 / Spearhead. I've got like 5 Warhammer 40k armies I'm working on getting playable right now, but I don't know, maybe I can fit some Tempesta Scions into my day. Thanks for watching.